Hey, welcome to Instant Reaction. It's the Blue Jay Banner post-game show live here on our YouTube channel. Thanks for finding us. Make sure you hit the share, like, and most definitely hit the subscribe button. I know a lot of you out there watch our programs and have been watching our podcast based on the number of views we've had, which has been outstanding. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. Thank our great sponsors, West Pacific Dental Group, Equitable Bank, we take banking personally, and Infusion Brewery. I'm gonna let you decide. I'll probably need the bigger 16 tonight of the Let It Fly. I was waiting. I've been waiting for a win. It hasn't happened, so like my choice was to go with the Let It Fly, or go with the football beer, the Walk On from Infusion Brewery. Maybe putting this night out of my mind and getting ready for some big NFL football tomorrow. But I think I'm going to go with the Let It Fly because all the product I have here to drink, I was going to have one after every win, and I'm not sure we will be able to get through all of the Let It Flies if I do that. So Let It Fly is very good, by the way. If you haven't tried it, it's sold at CHI. So on the 22nd, when this team comes home, and I hope the crowd is big and loud and boisterous and so forth, check out Let It Fly. It's very, very good. Made by Infusion, and you can find it all spots Infusion beer is sold, and also at their main spot down in La Vista, and also over at the Crescent Moon Cafe. Coach's Corner tonight's going to be assistant coach Ryan Miller. I'll be checking in with him, seeing when he's going to join us. We'll have Unsung Hero Worst Call tonight. And we want some feedback from you people, okay? There was a bunch of loudmouths and smart Alex tweeting at Blue Jay Banner all night long. So come on here and let's discuss what we were discussing on Twitter. But I know they won't, because they like to sit behind their keyboard and they're not bold enough to come on here and actually face-to-face have a adult personal discussion about things, which I am willing to do.
But it's a lot easier to type than to talk.
It is. If you would like to have that discussion, look on our screen. It'll be there. BJB Instant Reaction at gmail.com. Send Zach an email, and he will put you right on the air. Look, I've been on BlueJayBanner.com, and if you're not a member, please go and sign up right now, because you're missing out on a lot of great stuff and a lot of great banter between fans, and also you're missing out on inside information, like, when Ryan Kalkbrenner had mono, we let you know that first thing Friday morning before it even broke anywhere nationally. On there, people have jumped all over me for being Mr. Positive, and while
a little bit, just and I don't even feel like I'm being overly positive.
And Zach, you've been right there with me, and people have been driving their cars off cliffs, and saying they're not going to watch games, and on and on and on and on. I've been totally positive, okay, until tonight. That was a pathetic performance.
Yeah,
and the blame goes all around. Starts with Coach Mack, down to the assistants, down to the team. We got a point guard who was turning it over left and right.
Yep.
Who people were keep arguing about Kaluma shooting shots. Nobody else is making shots either. Yeah. Nembhard's missing all kinds of shots. We get a steal. We kind of had some momentum there. He tries to go 1-on-2. What are you doing? Like I said last week when I was in Vegas following the team, I think the players are just doing way too much. Kaluma's trying to do too much. Schreierman's trying to do way too much. I mean, he's backing people down. He's getting in there, and nothing is happening. Like, it'd be one thing if he was backing guys down and scoring, or backing guys down and dishing the ball and feeding, and guys are getting open. Nothing is getting open. Nothing is breaking open.
And in fairness, that is how the game started tonight, was with Schreierman posting up. He hit a shot. He got a good pass to King. But then it was, as soon as they stopped getting stops defensively, offense just ground to a halt. Nothing.
One-on-one. It was a lot of one-on-one.
Yep.
You don't see the crisp ball movement. And let's bring it up right off the get-go. Just was somebody tweeted, who, if I mention his name, I'm not going to. Most people in Omaha would know him. Said, wow, this isn't missing Kalkbrenner. And I totally agree. Fred King was awesome tonight. He was awesome. Now, we lose something, obviously, when we have to take him out of the game, where if Kalkbrenner was here, Fred could come in, and Fred plays like he does now, we're not missing a beat, right? But he was tremendous tonight. He's really getting much better on that pick and roll. He hustles his butt down, got 2 dunks on just plain old hustle.
Yep.
Got an offensive rebound on hustle. Hats off to Fred.
Yeah, and him finishing in the paint is a huge thing where, the first few games of the season against teams that were a lot smaller than him, he looked kind of timid going up, but now he's just dunking everything. And he can do that. That's what he can do. So he's looked great the past 2 games, just a ton of growth, 2 straight double-doubles, 16 and 11 last game, 16 and 10 this game, some block shots. So, yeah, he has a bright future. But outside of that, I can't think of any other positives.
I mean, yeah. Ben got some minutes tonight again, which I liked. He didn't look particularly good, though.
I will say he hustles his ass off.
Yeah,
he's flying all over the court when he's out there, whether he's making shots, whether he's scoring points or not. He's crashing boards offensively and defensively, and really that's all you can ask from a guy who doesn't know how many minutes he's going to get.
I'm really concerned about Farabello. He's really getting beat on defense. That, more than, people were complaining about Kaluma shooting threes. It's look, that's down the list right now, okay?
Yeah.
First of all, our defense was horrible.
Yeah, it was abysmal.
We let guys, at first I liked what we were doing. We were letting them, they're not a particularly great 3-point shooting team. And we were letting them shoot threes. And then after they made a couple, then our defense, we just let them drive by us time and time and time again. And the communication, I'm probably going to break this down for either our next show or what have you, but there was a play on defense where I forget who drove it. I don't know if it was Jones maybe drove it and got by his man. I think it was Klumi got by. Fine. We came over with some help, but there was no communication. 3 guys came over, then left 2 guys wide open. I'm like, what are you doing? And if the other thing on offense, like if Baylor if that's gonna be our offense, Baylor backing down, we've got to clear some room for him. He can't have 5 guys in the paint like there was on numerous occasions. I mean, he's not gonna score on that.
Yeah, not at all. And clogging the paint, even him backing down isn't going to do anything if they know that Creighton's not going to make threes. If you're a team that's only going to shoot from inside the paint, which was the only way they were scoring tonight, backing a guy down, getting into the paint and kicking it out, that's really not going to help the issue. They got to have more action than just have a guy back down, draw a help defender, and kick it out. You got to have some guys cutting, not just standing around waiting for the ball to get passed out.
Yeah. And it gets back to we get back to the 3-point thing. I mean, I know people are frustrated with certain guys shooting them and so on and so forth and whatnot, but you gotta that's why I want people to come on here and give me their takes of why these guys shouldn't shoot the ball, because if they're not going to shoot a wide open 3, what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want Kaluma to take 2 dribbles in and shoot an 18-footer? That's not his shot. He's going to miss just as many. Okay. Do you want him to take it all the way to the rim? I think we all do. But generally, defenses collapse on him, and he either gets an offensive foul or a turnover when that happens. And this is our offense. How many years have you heard, man, they live by the 3, die by the 3? I mean, ever since McDermott's been here, right? That's all everybody says. And yeah, that's what we do. But when guys like Farabello, who are, it's like a 33% 3-point shooter, are shooting about 18%, and Kaluma, I don't care what the guy on Twitter said tonight. Yes, he shot, what did he shoot? 26% last year, but he was shooting about 40 to 50% over the last 5 or 6 games last year. That showed how bad he was shooting it. He can make threes. Let's just put it that way. I would say at bare minimum, he's a 30% 3-point shooter. And then you've got, obviously Schreierman um, and shoot threes, but they're not getting him open for threes. That's the
Yeah.
problem, too.
Yeah, I don't remember the second one he hit, but I know the first one he hit was the worst look of the night. You know, that
Oh,
one, that
yeah.
sidestep
I know
three.
exactly what you're talking about.
That's the worst look they had from three tonight, and that's
Yeah,
one that he made.
absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It was really bad. Um, and I just, people are going to jump on me about this too. But I mean, I had a good feeling about this game, and it started off great, man. I mean, we started off, we got a 5-point lead. Um, I like the fact that Marquette was bricking a lot of threes. I mean, they
Yeah.
were airballing, bricking, you name it. And I thought, okay, this is kind of playing into our game here. But wow, turned in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with the first 10, 15 minutes is, 10 to 12 minutes, is Marquette was missing shots, and we had guys sprinting back, just getting out in transition and getting easy buckets. But again, as soon as Marquette started making some shots, there wasn't that urgency. There wasn't any cohesiveness once they got into the half court, and it ground to a halt. And if they weren't getting stops, they weren't doing anything.
Yeah,
And,
another thing, if you're at ButchieBanner.com, we have great previews. And today we talked to the beat writer from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Ben Steele, who told us that, hey, Marquette hasn't rebounded the basketball very well. And so I thought that just added to my impetus of saying that, hey, Creighton has a chance tonight. And the Jays only lost rebound, actually won the rebounding battle by 2. Now, part of that was their, dismal 3-point shooting at 20%. But, and again, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but, Kluma was 0 for 3, but Alexander was 0 for 2. Nemhard was 1 for 6. He's been in a horrid slump lately.
yeah. Yeah, he's looked like a shell of himself, and that's where I'm at with the whole situation, is they just look checked out. Like, I don't know the first thing about coaching college basketball. I'm not going to pretend to, but I know what it's like to look checked out because I saw it every morning in the mirror my senior year of high school. So I know what that looks like, and there's just something mentally. It's not there even towards the end of last season, and I started thinking to myself, and I was like, well, I think I definitely undersold the value of Hawkins and Alex O'Connell, especially when you have a guy like Alex O'Connell who he doesn't care who he's playing. He's not going to let someone punk him, which is how he was. He had swagger to him, and they're kind of lacking that guy this year, that killer, and it's just showing, at least to me personally.
Before we get back to discussion, Ross I don't think is going to join us tonight. I think he's got a function he had to be at. So when Ross is not around, one of the guys we asked to join us is Jerry Lampy. Jerry joins us now. Hey, Jerry, how you doing?
Hey, okay. Just
give us your thoughts, man.
Obviously, I was worried going into the game and turnovers. I know when Marquette blew Baylor out, they turned Baylor over. Marquette does a good job of turning turnovers into buckets. And, we got off to a pretty good start, and then we went to that streak where we turned the ball over, and Marquette took off. I think it was like a 17-2 run, got a double-digit lead. You know what? And we never challenged after that. We just couldn't get going. And when we get a few stops, we seem to turn the ball over. That was the key, turnovers. That's what Marquette likes to do, and we turned it over. The question I have, right now is I wonder what the crowd is going to be like Thursday night. I mean, the team is down. The temperature is supposed to be Arctic cold. You just got to wonder how much energy is going to be in that building Thursday night.
Yeah. I guess, that's one way to look at it. I don't know. Yeah. One below that day, Jerry.
Yeah, I know, for the high and 30-mile-an-hour winds. So, not a lot of, there's a lot of hate, a lot of anger out there amongst the Creighton fans, a lot of, disapproval. So you got to wonder how motivated fans are going to be to get out in that weather when you're on a 6-game losing streak and things aren't going well. It's close to Christmas. I mean, and, you hate to say it's a must game, and everybody's talked about must win this, must win that. But you know what? They got 3 home games coming up against teams that are predicted to finish in the bottom of the leagues, Seton Hall, Butler. And if we don't win those 3 games, if we come out, we lose to Butler, then you're talking about a season that could really go down the tubes. So,
right.
I don't want to say must win games, but boy, these next 3, you think we've got to find a way to win.
Totally agree with you. And, they do get almost a week off, number one. I kind of think, and I don't make excuses. And again, you brought up the turnovers, 18-10. If you look at the stats, if you just looked at the bottom line of the stats, okay, you would say, well, geez, Creighton shot 46% from 2. Marquette shot 45. Okay. Creighton shot 20 from 3. Marquette shot 28.6. So not much better, a little bit. They made 2 more threes in Creighton, so that's 6 points. Free throws, Marquette had 5 more trips to the line because they were a little more aggressive. But then, the only thing that sticks out, we out-rebounded by 2. The only thing that sticks out is the 18-10. And that's 8 more possessions they got that we didn't get. So, 8 possessions when you're shooting 46%, it's amazing that we shot. It didn't seem like we shot 46%, did it, guys?
No.
It's funny because I noticed the same thing, and I I was immediately like, well, that's what happens when you're not getting very many shots up. You're turning the ball over.
King was like 8 for 8 though. I mean, he helped. He had a lot of dunks, so that skews the stats. And if you take Trey and you take Trey and Rim and R2's stats out, then it really looks good. I mean, they had bad shooting nights, obviously. So,
right. If you take King out, then we would have been 17 of 46. So that's down in the 30s, right? So about 35%, something like that. So
it's barely above 33. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And then, like you said, Jerry, I think 6 of them were dunks at least?
Yeah. I guess the only positive thing you can say about this last 2 3 is King is getting a lot of playing time. So that's the only positive thing you can say. But yeah.
Well, Zach and I were discussing that before he came on. Like, I was telling somebody texted me and said, hey, this wasn't about Kalk. And they're right, because King played great, but the difference is if you had Kalkbrenner and then the King comes in and plays like he did, you're not missing a beat, for 40 minutes. That's a big difference, right? I mean, we went with the, Xander Yates experiment again, which I just, I know Mac was just grasping for straws at that point because going with Kaluma wasn't working, and I don't know what you got to do at that point.
At least he didn't check him a 3 tonight, though.
Yeah,
so.
I will say in Yates' defense, he plays fine interior defense. He plays fine post defense.
Yeah, but he also drops rebounds out of bounds.
Yeah, there's that too. But I'll give him his flowers for the for his defensive effort at the very.
I mean, it was pretty much over at that point anyway. It wasn't that big of a deal. I just wish we could just get some guys going. But I do, and I hate to get back to my point before I went off the stats. I do get back to what Bardo said. He said this early in the game. He said this back when the game was like close. He said, man, Creighton looks tired to me. You think about where they've been to Maui. And he was talking about when he was at Illinois and they went to Hawaii. He said it took him 2 weeks to get normal. And he goes, on top of that, he goes, I felt good. If you had some sort of sickness, I still got a cough, right? 3 weeks later. Mac has it. Some of the team had it. I think Trey had it. And so it does take you a while to get up to speed. Now, that didn't deter us from playing pretty well at Texas. We didn't shoot well, but we played well, right? So, that maybe, then the hangover against Nebraska, and then Vegas, I thought BYU, the first half we played terrible. I thought the next three halves we played okay to pretty good. Okay. I mean, BYU just played lights out, and I thought, you know, Arizona State, for my rewatch that game today, and for the most part, I mean, there was a few breakdowns here and there, but for the most part, it was it was a pretty high level game, and Arizona State's got some players. All right, you can reach us by sending an email to bjbinstantreaction@gmail.com. Zach will put you on, and you can get in the show and comment just like Easton does. Hey, Easton.
Hello. How you doing?
Well, not so well, Easton.
Yeah. But yeah, my big couple of takeaways from tonight is I don't know how much of this is coaching, but it's like, because after we got that early lead there, we were feeling good. I was like, okay, well, maybe this is the night we break the losing streak. But then they had those like long stretches in the game where it's like they just don't know what to do on offense without Kalkbrenner. And I don't know if they ever like just practice situations if someone like Kalkbrenner or someone goes out where they just run offense. Because it seems like they just don't know what to do. It's like, because like there's like no cutting or anything. Like they just stand around and wait till those shot clocks run out and then throw something up. It's terrible offense.
I agree with you.
I don't know how much. I just don't know. It's like when Kalkbrenner's out, it's like they don't know what to do on either side of the ball, and it's becoming like a disaster at this point. I don't know. It's not good basketball at all.
This is
Easton. Do you think it's like the Kalkbrenner thing? So Kalkbrenner's, the ball seems to move. There seems to be more cutting and so forth. But do you think it's just that the players don't trust tossing it into Fred? Because there was a couple times tonight where he posted up a guy and they didn't give him the ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, but like Fred's been like arguably the best player the last two games. I would give him more touches in the paint, see what he can do, because I mean, what else can you do? You're just not going to stand around on the perimeter and throw up a 3-pointer. Just like driving the ball too. Like they're not like driving through contact really. Like there was a stat where like their percentage on layups have been just awful the past few games. And I don't know. It's like this team. I don't think this team's that tough. Honestly, it seemed they're a little soft, and I believe they're getting frustrated. Just they're probably reading all this stuff on social media and. I think they're just starting. I think it's getting to them bad, and with all these expectations they're hearing all summer, I think it's getting like if they lose next week, like next Thursday, I think the season's gonna go down the drain because, it's getting there because the 6-game losing streak it's bad enough.
There'll be 10 people at that game on Christmas if they lose Thursday.
Oh yeah, and that would be such a big disappointment too.
But hey, Butler's not. They're not Georgetown. Let's put that.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. So, I mean, it's a game we should win. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I mean, they're approved from last year. I mean, their center can cause problems. Like, if Kalkbrenner's not back, I'm worried about that game too because they're a team that a lot of people picked as to be the sleeper team in the conference. So, I mean, they'll be ready to go. I mean, I think both teams will be ready to go, but these next 3 games will tell a lot on how like mentally where this team is. Yeah. And I think if they just fall flat, then it's not going to be good.
Yeah. And I think back to Barto's point about being tired and so forth, all the travel and then playing a brutal schedule. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm sure you could see a lot of it on TV, but when you were sitting there courtside, those 3 games in Maui, my God, I've never seen teams pressure us, physical, and run with us. And I mean, it just, and we were there, obviously 1-2 of them were there for the third, I mean, that had to take a lot out. And then the Texas game had to take more of us out. And then, they come to Nebraska and just lay an egg. And then, to go 2 nights in a row, now your head's spinning, right? And, you lose 2 close ones. That's got to be disappointing. And I'm not worried about the center position no matter who's out there right now.
Yeah.
I'm worried about a point guard, frankly.
Right.
Yeah, backcourt and Kaluma. Because, and also my counterpoint to that is I feel like a decent team still beats BYU in Nebraska. But, the travel has been brutal. And then also my last question was, the coaching staff, will they, think about maybe changing up the play style? like when the injuries had to force them to like last year had to force them to like make it a slower, more like grinded out game, which like Trey at point sometimes. I don't know, like try something different. I don't know, shake things up because
He's
these
been on
teams
top though quite a bit, and they've
yeah,
had Nemhard on the wing, and the problem is Nemhard get open on the wing and he's not hitting threes right now, so that
yeah,
doesn't help us on the end. And Trey's more effective in that, 10 to 15 foot range, or 8 to 10 foot range, I should say. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I just think, and Easton, you probably saw some of the stuff on Twitter too. I mean, I still think Kaluma's a decent 3-point shooter. I'm sorry.
yeah. I don't know. It's like these guys. I think Zach's point, like they seem checked out, but they've seemed checked out for a couple games now. Like the Nebraska game, he's checked out. Like to me, if you're checked out, you're just not motivated. That's a coaching thing. That's a motivation thing. I don't know if this coaching staff is getting these guys like ready to ready to go before the game. Like last year's team had that. Like I remember a couple times after tough losses. For example, that game at UConn last year where they just came out and they just were playing with desperation. I don't know if this team has done that yet at all.
No. Yeah. Hey, that's a great call, Easton. Thanks so much. Appreciate
no problem.
it. You can call us BJB instantreaction@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts. What do you think, Jerry, about what Easton said?
A lot of it's true. I think, the big game is Thursday night. And like you said, Tim, Butler's not terrible. I mean, they're 8-3 and they beat BYU on a neutral floor. So, it's not going to be a gimme game for sure. So,
yeah, that's why we need a big crowd and need to get kind of raucous. But like
it's
you said,
not going to happen,
could affect it. But you can have, I remember when we played Oklahoma a few years ago, it wasn't full in there by any means,
right.
But the crowd was really loud. You know what I mean? So if you get a loud crowd, it makes a big difference.
A point Ethan made, do you think this players look much on social media? I know there's a lot of anger right now, a lot of, guys are not going to win another game. You're trash. You're the biggest. Do players see that, or they block themselves out from that? I was wondering how much.
I don't think they see much of it.
They may see some of it. They may hear some of it. I don't think they really pay a whole lot of attention to it.
Jordan Scurry actually did talk about this recently. He tweeted out, he was like, yeah, when I was on the team, no one was paying attention to that stuff. Like, we have enough of our own concerns. We don't need Jays fan 4255539 on Twitter telling us how good or bad we are.
Yeah. But you can't help but be immune, get some of it. You can't totally be immune to it. That's my point,
I do know that Coach Mack put something out there, a couple days ago about, you guys might give up on this team, but I'm sure not, so. You got to
exactly.
wonder.
I mean, I would almost venture to say that just from my observation, Coach Mack is more active on Twitter than any of the players are.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And once he got his account back.
Just to run down. So, Sherman played 36 minutes today. He's been playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, he looked tired.
He had 14. Fred had 16 on 8-8 shooting. Fred, another double-double, 16 and 10. Congratulations, Fred King. Thanks, John. Fireman back to his double-double. He pulled down 11. I thought he got a lot of rebounds out there tonight. Pluma had 12 and 5. No, he only had one turnover. Alexander had 4 points. And that's the other thing. Trey hasn't looked right to me for quite a while either. He's the other guy. He had 4 turnovers tonight, 4 points. Nemhard had 3 turnovers, 5 points. That's 9 points and 7 turnovers from your 2 guards.
Yep.
Yeah. Trey's also his third foul. He fouled a guy on a 3-point shot that was falling out. It was really, I put him on the bench. Just not a good foul situation.
I know we missed the free throw, but then Schreierman steps in the lane. That's just concentration.
Yeah. And also on that foul, that was Nemhard turned to Trey and was like barking at him. And that's the first time I've seen anything like that from any of these guys, like going at each other's throats. So,
well, there's been some stuff on social media suggesting chemistry issues here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if we were 6-1 or whatever,
Right.
what would it be? 9-3. If we were 9-3 or 10-2, nobody would be talking about that, right? So I get that. It's all going to happen when you lose, right?
Yeah.
It's like your NFL team when they lose 8 in a row. Then you hear all the disgruntled stories and so on and so forth, which may go on with they won 8 in a row, but you don't hear about it. It's just human nature. But you do kind of wonder, inserting Schreierman into this team, maybe we thought it was going to be easier than it is. Yeah, he's scoring points and doing, some things where it's, well, geez, you're not blaming him, are you? No, but I'm just saying it's an integration process, Maybe there's certain things in certain plays where, you got to remember guys like, Ballack and Alexander, they played together so long, things are just second nature.
Mhm.
Jefferson, Mahoney, those guys, Zagorowski, they were all together
Yep.
a long time. And they could go down and everybody could run the plays in their sleep,
Yep.
where maybe Schreierman's a little bit, didn't set the screen quite properly or got too high on the screen, is kind of like I rewatched the play on Arizona State that Mac drew up for him, and he went too far. Like the screen was set, he went too deep, and then they were able to come over the top and immediately guard him, and he kind of bobbled the ball. Had he stopped sooner where the screen was and got the pass there, he would have had an open shot. So that's just one instance, but again, we just got to take care of the basketball for crying
Yep.
out loud, and know a little bit of reaction, know what's going on with the shot clock. That's kind of disturbing too tonight. We had a couple of those tonight, which just were like, oh my word.
Well, guys are so worried about the fact that the ball is in their hands that they're not thinking about what to do with it.
Yeah.
And you just have guys dribbling for 28 seconds. And then, last 2 seconds, try to throw up whatever you can.
Yep.
All right,
basketball doesn't work like
that.
Time for Coach's Corner. Joining us now is assistant coach Ryan Miller. Hi, Coach. I think Coach is here.
I can hear you now, guys.
All right.
I hear
Hey,
you
thanks,
guys.
Coach. How you doing?
How you doing, Tim? Good.
Hey, good.
Unfortunately,
Just your thoughts on the game first.
Yeah, I mean, Marquette's playing really well. They got a good basketball team and play up in a hostile environment, and we can't make all the mistakes we made to expect to win a game, both offensively and defensively. And that's what it comes down to, I guess.
What do you think? Was the cause of a lot of those turnovers? Sure, they played defense, but we've been playing really good defenses here all season long. That was nothing special. Was it just kind of a mental thing, and then we start having some? We get a few points behind. We start pressing.
Yeah, I think all those are accurate observations. I think missing Coach Brenner a little bit, just the flow of overall offense and what he provides to the flow. Even though Fred's playing phenomenal in a difficult situation, this overall flow of our offense makes it a little more disjointed, which leads to some more careless mistakes, a little more deep possessions offensively, and then we gave up the ball too many times, and they came down and scored on the other end on us.
Yeah, because there was a point there where it was, I think, 55-47. And, boy, they were helping us out, man. They were turning it over. They were jacking up threes. And we just couldn't come down and get a couple of good possessions in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing a very good basketball team, Marquette, who's really good, one of the top teams in our league this year. And, you got to string together possessions, both offensively and defensively, expect to win. And just we weren't consistent enough in either end to really come through with a victory, We knew it was going to be a tough game coming in, and we were tested, and we didn't come through tonight.
Coach, just to let you know, I haven't had a chance to do it after the last few games, so I'm having to let it fly right now.
There you go. We need one. We need one right now. So, but
are the players like I noticed a couple of times tonight? I mean, Fred had it going, man. Now you think back 2 games ago where he was just kind of out there and wasn't ever really asking for the ball. He's asking for the ball now. And it seemed like I don't think the players are in their mind like, I don't know if trust is the right word, but they're used to posting up. They know when to get it to him, where he wants it, stuff. And a couple of times I thought, man, let's dump it into Fred. We're not hitting shots. Let's let him go. And maybe the guys aren't really entrusting. And like you said, the flow is a little different.
There's no question about the flow of the game's a little bit different. I mean, for the last 2 years, Coach Brenner's been a staple both offensively and defensively in our schemes, whether it's offensively, setting ball screens, rolling hard to the rim, being able to flip ball screens when they go under R2, stuff like that. He has a nuance for all that stuff. And they've played a lot of games together. And just a little being off a little bit, even though Fred, like I said, unbelievable. And we could be more proud of what he's been able to do, both for his confidence and going forward and his development. But those things are missing a little bit. And we got to get them back, and we got to figure it out. Without Coach Brenner or with Coach Brenner, we just got to figure it out. And the more time they get together, the more consistent that will become.
Yeah. And someone floated this idea out. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it or not, but I thought I asked you. I think we're kind of taking for granted too when you're bringing somebody in. If you think back to last year, it kind of took Hawk a while to kind of mesh into the system. Not so much chemistry with the guys, but meshing in the system on the floor and so forth. And I think we're kind of like just taking it for granted that Baylor should just walk right out there and be like, Mitch Ballack and, was for 4 years. It takes some time. Are we maybe overlooking that a little bit too? Not that Baylor hasn't played well, but, it's just another factor.
For sure. I think it's as part of it. I mean, the chemistry, again, when you play so many games and get in so many battles with people, you are comfortable with people. And, it's early in the season. We have a lot of time to develop this chemistry that we're looking for with everybody on the team, getting our bench to have some chemistry while they're out there and be able to perform, and just the overall team concept, just everybody playing for each other and understanding if I make this play here, someone's going to cover me up over here. And we need to get more of that. And we're a work in progress with that. And eventually that chemistry will come around as we go through these battles and get battle tested a little bit,
Absolutely. We're talking with assistant coach Ryan Miller. Stephen Bartle made a comment on TV tonight. I don't think it was totally earth-shattering. I think we've all thought about it. But he said this early on when the game was a 1-point, 2-point game. He goes, yeah, I just kind of sense to me that over the last couple of games, and even watching him here, even the first half, he goes, I think this Creighton team's really tired. He spoke about when he was playing with Illinois and they went over and played Hawaii. He goes, it took me 2 weeks to really get going. And he goes, I can't imagine having some guys under the weather and then trying to get it going.
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves in being a non-excuse ball club and program. So we don't want to have any excuses, but that trip is hard. The travel's hard. The games you play are hard. And then we come back and you pile on Texas at Texas, a rivalry game in Nebraska. I mean, we've undertook a lot. And hopefully as we go through this journey, because we're still early in this journey, as we go through this journey of the season, that eventually these wars and these battles that we've tested ourselves with will come to head at the end of the year. And instead of being on the losing end of these games, we're on the winning side.
Right. And the travel too. I mean, God, me just coming back from Vegas the other day and having planes delayed, it just, and I'm not playing basketball, right? It wears you out. And these guys haven't been in their own bed. I just think this next 6 days are just going to be awesome for the team.
Yeah, I think as you look at it too, we're a very young team. So people think we're a veteran team. We're not. We play, Fred King, a freshman. He was barely playing basketball 5 years ago. And then we have a bunch of guys that are sophomores. And like you said, we added a couple transfers and Baylor and Parabello, and the chemistry quite hasn't clicked yet, but it will. And the more we get put in these situations, the more games we play together, the more practices we have, the chemistry will start to click. And I think you'll see a team that's clicking together, fighting together, and ultimately winning together.
I don't ever like to ask you about him, but I will anyway. How do you think Mason's been developing along?
Oh, he's been getting better and better, and coaches getting more trust in him, and he's getting more confident out there. They try to ice him a few times defensively, and he did a very good job of being there, verticality, and making a play of the ball. And as more playing time he gets, more confident he gets, and he's doing well. Could be more proud and happier. What
final question? What do we have to do to get more production because now the bench is shorter, obviously, because now we have to have Fred out there as a starter. What can we do to get more production out of the bench?
We just got to have them come in and be able to withstand surges other teams give us. I mean, it's very difficult when we make changes and the other team goes on a quick run to stay consistent with them. Those guys are going to have to come in confident because they're all good players and be able to withstand these surges. And, they don't have to go and feel like they have to go take the lead. They just have to hold the score to where it was. And to be able to just go out there and play consistent basketball, not turn the ball over, take open shots, and make easy plays. That's all we need out of them.
Well, you said the magic word there, Coach, confidence. I mean, it doesn't – obviously, when you lose 6 in a row, your confidence is going to be shaken, and this team needs a boost of confidence. So let's hope we can get it next Thursday night. Let's hope the weather forecast is wrong and it's a better night than it looks like it is right now, so we get a decent crowd there and really get behind these guys and support them.
No question. I mean, we've been through a tough stretch, and we need the support of the city, the support of the community, the support of the Creighton alumni right now as we get into the heart of what could be a very successful run for us. And we're just going to need a lot of people's support right now as we've been through a tough stretch, through some adversity, and now we need to bounce back and be what this program is all about. It's about playing winning basketball, and selfish basketball, and tough basketball. And we'll get there starting Thursday night.
Yep, we got 3 games in a row at home against teams that we should be able to handle. And, we get to 3-1, we'll kind of forget about a lot of these tough times. So there we go.
No question. Winning cures a lot of issues, and hopefully we can make it happen.
All right, Coach, thanks so much.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye.
That's Assistant Coach Ryan Miller. Always very positive. Probably shouldn't ask him about Mason because I don't know. Mason just doesn't seem to be playing the same kind of emotion or
energy
that he had early on.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because that was one of the first things I noticed, just exhibition game right away, is that he didn't score, but he was all over the place, flying around, going for rebounds, and you just haven't seen it as much the last few games when he's been in, just kind of sitting in the corner on offense, kind of playing his man on defense, but not really crashing and doing as many little things.
Yeah. How about an unsung hero tonight, guys? Tough one. It's a tough one, I realize. Because of the poor performance, should we not name an unsung hero?
Arthur Kaluma?
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 3 bench points. Your 2 guards have, 9 points, 7 turnovers.
Sharif had 4 points.
Oh, yeah, right. I was forgetting until the end of the game. Yeah. Yeah. True.
No, I think the performance was so bad that we can't really give an unsung hero tonight. Worst call of the night. I never really noticed any that were bad tonight. Pretty good reffing crew, by the way, tonight.
I thought it was a little bit inconsistent at the start. Like, some of those offensive fouls in the first half on Trey and on Reef, I don't see them sometimes.
Well, it was a very loose whistle. I mean, I think it went 9 minutes into the game before there was a first foul.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, if Marquette was playing physical, bumping and the dribble, and when they don't allow you to get separation, I mean, that's natural. When some guy's riding you and you're dribbling the basketball, you want to get your arm out there to create separation. And, Marquette did a good job of flopping on the ground, and you get your arm extended. The ref's going to call that sometime. But I think 3 of the first 4 fouls were offensive. I mean, they were letting them play, and I'm not obviously, officiating didn't cost us a game, but it was a very loose whistle tonight. I don't know if Creighton actually got into the bonus at all. I know at the end of the game, Marquette only had 5 fouls.
Yeah, they didn't.
They did in the first half. They got the bonus
really?
in the first half. Yeah.
I thought it was a very loose whistle. Like you said, it was 9 minutes in the game before they called the first foul, and 3 of the first 4 fouls were offensive.
I think Loomis shot a 1-and-1 at the end of the first half.
Okay.
I think he only shot the 2 free throws, and they were when he got fouled earlier in the half. I don't know that we ever.
No, he shot 4 free throws total. He was 4 for 4.
But those 2 were in the second half. Those other 2 were in the second half.
I'm pretty sure it was a 1-on-1 situation. Maybe it was 2. I could be wrong, but I thought we got to 7, but maybe not. Maybe not. We were close. I know we were at least at 6. But anyway, well, how many team fouls do we have? We had 14, or Marquette, I should say. Maybe not. Marquette only had 9 personal fouls.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they had 3 in the second half. I think that's how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they only had. Yeah,
Creighton only shot 5 free throws, right?
Yeah, Sharif shot a free throw, yeah.
And then the other 4 were
Marquette had 9 fouls, right? So I don't think Creighton ever got into the bonus.
Oh, no. Well, we weren't aggressors, right? They were the aggressors.
Nope. Yep.
So, but Jerry, you just brought up a point about the officials and physicality. And so that got me thinking, I'm thinking, well, yeah, maybe teams got a blueprint for physicality. Well, we're just going to be physical, Creighton, and hope the refs don't blow the whistle. But, God, Texas Tech was physical with us.
Yes.
Arkansas was physical with us. Texas probably not as much as, say, those first 2 teams. And
even
Arizona was
Arizona,
right in there, too. I thought both teams in Vegas were pretty physical with us, especially Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona State's one of the better defensive teams in the country, though. So it's not like we haven't seen that and been productive offensively. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, the Arkansas game, you got to remember, though, we got in the bonus early, and that's when Musselman lost his
right.
mark. And so there was a tight whistle. It was a tight whistle in Arkansas, I thought. But I think, teams are going to want to go play Creighton physical. I mean, we're not the biggest team as far as muscular-wise, and, compared to some of these teams like Texas where they got guards that are chiseled. And I think teams are going to see that and try to get out and get it. And when you can kind of clog it up and hold the guy that's got the basketball, it kind of clogs up the offense too. So you don't have that room to drive and blow by people. So, you may see some of that from other teams thinking, well, if we can play Creighton physical and kind of keep them from driving and see how the refs call it. And obviously the refs it was a very loose whistle tonight. So.
Yeah. But then that got me thinking even further while you were making your point was that, I thought back to Maui, and teams are physical with us. They're out on us. Trey was able to go by them. Maybe not buy them, but at least even with them and at least get a shot on.
And he was hitting those shots from mid-range as well.
Taylor the same way. Nemhart, really. Okay. Over the last 3 games, really been noticeable to me, we're not getting by anybody.
No.
Okay. On the flip side, everybody's beating us on defense.
Yeah, perimeter defense has been extremely suspect.
To me, and again, like Coach Miller said, we don't make excuses, but to me, that's got to just be a tired exhaustion type thing,
And 2, when you have Kalk back there and you have a 7-1 guy that can alter shots, you're not it's not a total loss if somebody gets by you because you got Kalk back there either blocking the shot or altering it. So,
right.
And again, Frederick's played great, but he doesn't have the length and the experience that Kalkbrenner has to get over and alter shots when people are driving in. So when you got a 7-1 guy behind you, it makes, you can take more chances on defense. If he does happen to get by you, you still got to shoot it over Kalk or, so you've got to play better perimeter defense if you don't have a guy like Ryan Kalkbrenner behind you blocking an alternate shot. So
I think the other thing too with Fred is Ryan knows that that's coming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And can get himself ready to make the block at the perfect moment, where Fred is still like, I got to guard my man.
Right. He's indecisive. Yeah. In the time. Right. I mean, that comes. He's just a freshman. Like you said, he hadn't been playing ball that much. So,
no, I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying,
it happened,
looking for, rather than just say, well, the coach needs to be fired and we suck. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Somebody tweeted out who should know better, whose name I will not mention, that what I'm looking at, I don't know, but what I'm looking at looks like a team that, the coach has lost the team. That's what
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that's not, that's just an irresponsible and uninformed. Like, I don't see that the coach has lost anything. Like, I don't think that they're not listening to him. They're running the plays he wants to run. They're, I don't think, now has Mac maybe done the greatest job? No. There's some things he probably could have done. Like tonight, I don't know why we didn't go to that 1-3-1. Like, that he throws out there. Like, do something, because they're just driving to the hole at will on us there for a while. Let's go to that 1-3-1. Let's make them make some threes.
Right.
They're shooting 33% as a team for the year, and they've got some guys historically, like Kolek is one, who shot the ball much worse from three in other years than he has this year. And I mean, some of those shots they threw up in the first 5-6 minutes, my God, they were just total bricks. Even they had one go in.
Prosper. I mean, his thing stuck between the rim and the backboard, and just it was a bad shot. He just had to go in.
So I don't know. That's what I would have done at some point there with the 8-10 minute mark. Like, let's see what happens here. But again, it was 55-47. And gosh, I can't tell you how many possessions we had. Or we could have cut that thing to 5 and then to 2 or the 3.
Yeah, I would love to see the points per possession.
Well, Farabello had a couple back-to-back turnovers that were bad. A carry, and then he jumped up, and the guy kind of flew by him, and he went down. Yeah, it was just – and those were 2 back-to-back turnovers where I think it was an 8-9-point game. If we can get a bucket there and cut it to 6, maybe it's a different game. But, that really hurt. Yeah,
to me, it's all just mental, man. It's just these small little things that they need to tune up, and they're not tuning them up. And that you have one small thing, it just snowballs into one huge thing, and that huge thing is a 6-game losing streak. I don't know. I know someone asked about Jack Stark recently. I know he's not around anymore, but
well, he was in Vegas. I talked to him.
Oh, okay.
But he's a regent at Nebraska now, isn't he? Didn't he get a regent? Isn't he a regent at Nebraska? I think he was was in the election for it. I
have no idea.
Elected as a regent for Nebraska.
To be honest,
and there was some other stuff going on with. There were some other. Well, they're the ones who run the university.
Ah, okay.
They're like the board of directors of a company.
Gotcha. Okay, got it.
But they run the whole University of Nebraska system.
All right, those are terms I can understand.
Omaha.
Yeah.
So, Hal Dobb was one. I don't know if he still is. He was a regent for a while after he was mayor.
I'm only 26.
But anyway, I think that's what he was doing. So I don't know how much of this he's still doing.
Yeah.
Like the sports psychologist. I know even when he started working with Creighton, his main person he worked with was Doug.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I remember that specifically.
Like he works a ton with NASCAR guys. Or at least he did. He also, Jerry, you'll be interested in this. He also worked with pro golfers. I want to say he was at the President's Cup, maybe, because Seamus Power, name you're probably familiar with, his caddy was John Rathouse, who's from Omaha, and so. And then when I was talking with Jack, because I was joking with him, I said, "So Jack, I'm missing a lot of putts. Tell me what I can do better, And he was saying he was at the President and he was talking with Seamus Power, and I go, "Oh well, his caddy." And Jack goes, "Yeah, that's how I got the connection, kind of." And he told me, Jerry, that when you swing on your downswing, you should exhale.
Well, I don't think that much when I swing.
Yeah. Well, he said exhaling relaxes your muscles. So he goes, if you can start exhaling on your backswing, he goes, that would be perfect.
I tried that on putts before to relax. So yeah.
I always take a deep breath before I putt, but that's really hard to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I've seen a therapist or two. I know about some breathing exercises I could give you for your golf game.
Yeah. Okay, Zach. I think I'll let those go. I know 1 year I was a little upset when their free throws were so bad. I was like, well, you got Jack Stark there. Come on. You got to be able, because he was at every game. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't noticed him this year, but I haven't looked. But I'm certainly going to look Thursday if he's behind the bench. So
yeah, it's just an interesting wrinkle, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know that. I mean, he can only do so much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
They got to
18,
win. They got to
20-year-old.
win a game. Yeah, they got to.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to give him the most confidence is winning a game and seeing some of the balls drop.
Right.
Now, I thought it was pretty interesting tonight. Farabella's been struggling, not only offensively, but defensively. Game's over with. He gets a wide open look from three and just drains it.
Yep. No pressure.
So that's just telling me there's pressure. There's everything's going on.
Like making a 10-footer for quadruple bogey. You know, you get up there and you don't think about it. So, yeah, there's no pressure on.
Well, that's a thing with the, kind of discussion I got in with guys on Twitter about Kaluma. And they're saying, well, practice doesn't mean anything. Well, how else can you determine who your best shooters are? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
if Kaluma's making a practice, let's say last year, let's use this word. Kaluma's making him practice and Nemhard's not. It wouldn't one then assume that Kaluma's just a better outside shooter than Nemhard? I'm just using Nemhard as an example.
Yeah, you would think.
I understand it's practice. Number one, he goes, well, what counts is making buckets in the game and not practice. And I go, well, genius analysis there, but that was the big thing we heard last year in the staff all season long. I'm like, well, maybe we should run some different plays so Kaluma's not out on the wing wide open. And, back to the old Al McGuire line, there's a reason you're wide open.
Mm-hmm.
But the staff kept saying, oh, we chart not only just free shooting drills, but in practice. And Zach, you were there this year.
Yep.
It's not like those guys are just standing out there hitting threes. So there is guys in their faces.
Yep. There's movement. They're not just catching and shooting. They're coming off of screens. They're coming off of flares. They're doing all kinds of stuff and shooting on the move. And yeah, I mean, I've only been to the one practice, but we talked about it at length. Farabello, his shot looked insane. That one day we were at practice, him and Miller both just, anywhere they were at, it was going in.
Yeah. So, and Miller's kind of kept that up. His 3-point shooting has been pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, like the whole thing is like, so, we heard from the coaches all last year, Kaluma's, trust us, Kaluma's our best 3-point shooter. And it didn't pay dividends until we got into postseason. I mean, it took that long. Now, you can also go with the Bill Parcells line, you are what you are, right? So I guess you can take it both ways. But, these guys are like, well, Kaluma's got to quit shooting threes. Again, I get back to what do you want them to do then? Like, nobody gives me that answer. Like, you can't just say, well, don't shoot a three anymore.
Right.
Max in the huddle going, don't shoot any more threes, Art. Okay, then what's Art supposed to do?
That if you tell a player that, they start thinking about everything else they're doing as well. They catch the ball on the wing, they're wide open. You tell them not to shoot a three. Oh, can't shoot this. What do I do now? It betrays instinct.
Yeah. I mean, for the season so far. So let's just look at this, interestingly enough. Everybody's telling me how horrible Arthur Kaluma is from three. He's 32%. That's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible.
That's probably not even close to worst on the team.
No, Nemhard is at 28.
Yeah.
Trey was at 41. He's dropped a little bit. Sharman's 38. Kalkbrenner's 37. Hello. Fran is at 30. Mason Miller's that's the guy's on the look. He's at 64%. He's 9 of 14. Yeah.
And I think there was a game where he was like 1 for 4 too.
Yeah. So now if you throw out Kalk, obviously, just overall field goal percent. Throw out King too, because King's way over 60% now. This was before this game. He was at 59. So he's way over. Nemhard's at just under 41. Trey's at 43. Shireman's at 41. And Kaluma's at 41. So, it is what it is. What do you think's leading in free throws?
Free throws shot?
That's well, no. Free throw
percentage
of guys that have shot at least double digits. Jerry, you go first. Who do you think's the leading free throw shooter?
I'll say Ryan Kalkbrenner.
All right.
It's Trey.
Trey Alexander, 86% from three.
One.
Man, that's up there.
He's barely over. I feel like he's barely over double digits though.
What?
How many free throws has he shot?
Trey?
Yeah.
32, 37.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah, he's actually shot the second most on the team. Kaluma's got the most, and Kaluma's at 70%. So
I figured Kaluma
the guy who
had the most
surprises
shot.
me is not as good as free throws usually think would be Baylor. I mean,
Baylor's missed. I said the other night, Baylor missed some key ones in that Arizona State game.
Yeah.
After I watched it again today, too, I was like, man, yeah, Baylor's at 68%. But that happens. Look at Mitch Ballack.
I was going to say the exact same thing. They just don't – they're never in that situation where they're going to be the guy shooting free throws. They're shooting from three. So when they get to the line, they're not used to that in-game scenario of shooting a free throw, which also is another thing that, kind of defies expectation a little bit, more than a little bit.
We're all bummed about tonight and depressed and how horrible game it was for us. I mean, for the year, we're shooting 45.8%. That's what we shot tonight. But we shot what we've been shooting all year.
Yeah. Turnovers, man.
Turnovers. We were averaging 10 turnovers a game. At 18 tonight. That was the difference. Rebounding. We have averaged 37 rebounds tonight. We had 34, so not that much off, really. We're averaging shooting, though. Here's a big one. We're averaging shooting about 18 free throws a game, something like that.
5 tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. That hurt us. Maybe 17, averaging 17 a game. So that hurt us a lot. And our three-point average is 34.4. Now, it was 20 tonight, but we're throwing up on average. So people that were complaining about us shooting them, on average, we were shooting about, about 27, 28 threes a game. Tonight, we only had 20.
Right.
So again, we didn't overly, just stand out there and jack up threes.
No. I thought we made an effort, especially the first part of the game. We were taking the ball downside, kind of backing our guy in, going one-on-one, and trying to get some, we weren't, like I said, we weren't just jacking up threes. It was a concerted effort to take the ball to the rim. They weren't really calling. It was a very loose whistle. They weren't calling many fouls. You had to get pretty much killed to get a foul. So I think the first foul they blew in the game was, like I said, 11 minutes to go, and it was Arthur taking the ball in a fast break, and the guy hammered him going up for a layup. It was pretty much they had to call it then. So, yeah.
Well, we got to get better play. I mean, if I'm going to single out a few guys, obviously Art's just got the – Art doesn't have to be like 27-point Art.
No.
Okay?
Not at all.
He just can't be 12-point Art.
Right.
Yep.
Well, he can be 12-point Art as long as it's not, 5 for 15 from the field 12-point Art.
Yeah. We've got to get Ryan Nembhard going.
Yeah, he's not been good.
Yep. Since Maui.
And tonight, what killed me was we were making a little bit of a push there. I think it was like 8-point game. He got a steal. He goes down 2-on-1 and tries to throw up that shot when he had trailers coming. I just, again, a situation where a guy's trying to do too much. He'd be number one on the list that we have to get going. I think number 2 would be Farabello because he's getting a fair amount of playing time. When he comes off the bench, he's got to do more. And then 3 would be, kind of a coupling of Trey and Art together. Mm-hmm. Trey's got to be better defend. Trey's a better defender than he's been showing us.
Absolutely.
Could be the legs have gone. But I think they're going to give them plenty of time here. I think they're going to give him a day off. They're going to give him a day off tomorrow, I'll bet. And I'll bet they'll give him another day off, maybe, like Tuesday or something. But
yeah, but they're going to be, that was a question I was going to ask. You go back, there's no classes, there's nobody on campus. but the foreign exchange students, I mean, so you got a lot of dead time. So I don't know what these guys would be playing video games, kind of resting, but it's still, you get bored as a young guy, and you're like, okay, I want, especially on a 6-game losing streak, they want to try to get back in the gym and work on their shot a little bit. I don't know. So, but
I think there'll be that, but I mean, those practices are pretty intense.
Yeah.
And I think so that I think they'll do that. You're right, Jerry. I think, but what they tend to do is they plan stuff for them.
Yeah.
They'll go maybe an Ollie's trolley and look at the lights or something,
Right.
I'm just throwing shit.
Because when you're on college, you're playing. It is when you go back and there's like no students around. It's just a weird feeling. It's just like nobody around. When you're used to going to class, having a routine, or at least going out and seeing. I mean, they're going to go back to campus and it's basically going to be empty. It's just a weird feeling. Yeah. It's like it's a ghost town because all the students are back home, and and so it's just unique. I mean, you have a lot of free time because you're not, finals are over. You got a lot of free time. What do you do with that free time? So
I'd like to have Mac for like an hour and just like discuss like at this point, do you I think we were talking with Booth about this actually. Do you look at nutrition at this point?
Yeah, nutrition, sleep.
How many fluids are they drinking?
Yep.
Sleep and just off your feet rest. Just all these things. Like I just wonder, what they do, I just wonder how deep they get into it.
Yeah,
I'd be at 6 losses in a row. I'd be looking at every single thing. I'd be looking at, are we practicing in the morning? Okay, we're going to move to the afternoon, or whatever. I'd just be mixing it up.
You give me access to the championship center, give me access to that. I will tell you what every single percent of my body is composed of by the end of the day. They have so many resources in there.
That weight room is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to just, again, like Jerry said, there's nobody on campus, so they're, let's walk over to McDonald's, and scarfing down a couple of cheeseburgers, It's not like the day when we were putting weight on Doug.
Yeah, or Will Artino for that matter.
I remember talking with Mac in the summer between his freshman and sophomore year, and he's saying, "Yeah," he goes, "God, it's not like he's not eating like he just had a big dinner, and then Teresa was going to run down to Walmart for something." And she goes, "Anybody need anything?" And Doug goes, "Yeah, grab me 4 of those taco burrito wraps." And, like he was jamming food down him. I just wonder, I'm just throwing it out there. I'd be looking at everything. But again, I'd like to get us out of a little defensive funk, throw 1-3-1 out there. I don't particularly like the 1-3-1, to be honest with you. I'd rather go at 2-3. But why does anybody play 1-2-1, 1-2-2 anymore, Jerry?
I don't know. That's what I play. That's what we played in high school.
Yeah, that's what we played too. I think because the athletes are so different now than when we played, when we were just slow.
Of course, back when I played high school, there was no 3-point line either. So
right.
So you basically the 1-2-2 kind of guards the interior, and you have open shots on the wing. I mean, pretty much every time, I guess you try. So yeah, you don't see a lot of teams play zone defense anymore.
Yeah, the only thing on the 1-2-2 was the weak side wing. Okay, not the weak side post, but the weak side wing. When the ball went all the way to the other side, had to be down underneath the basket, protecting that weak side cut to the hoop.
Right.
But yeah, I remember playing the 1-2-1, 1-2-2. I mean, and like our point guy was inside the circle.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Jordan would shoot threes.
Yeah, I still remember how big a pain in the ass it was trying to learn how to play a matchup zone.
Yeah. I mean, as well too. Sometimes a 1-3-1 is more of a trapping zone. You kind of teams use it to trap at half court and create turnovers. And you got to throw long
aggression. Yeah.
The only problem with that is you got to be fairly long. Like Kalk would have to come up and be at the free throw line because the way you beat that is to throw it over the top down to the far corner. Once you get it on, throw it back to the weak side. Once you get it on the wing. Mm-hmm. But the point of that defense is to push that wing out so far that pass is a lot tougher. And it takes a lot longer for it to get there.
Mm-hmm. You have to play a lot of zone defense to play it well because there's so much, you're not man to man. You basically got a man that's you guard. I mean, yeah, you switch off, but in zone defense, you've got to do you pick? It just takes a lot of practice, I think. And guys, and if there's any indecision, that's where you get burned on his zone defense.
Right. But Mac will throw that out there. Mac's done it every year. He throws it out there.
And a lot of times it's just to give the offense,
right.
We don't
Something
play it very long,
at.
but it's just a different look to get them out of the rhythm, but it's not like we start out playing a 1-3-1 and we're going to play it for 40 minutes.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I thought tonight, when they kind of went on that 17-2 run, I was throwing something different out there at them.
Yeah. It's usually, but I said just to kind of throw a wrinkle and to kind of get the other team out of a
slows their tempo too. Like Marquette was getting sped up.
Oh yeah.
It slows their tempo down a little bit. Because I know people did that against Creighton.
Oh yeah.
Just want to mention to everybody, I drank Let It Fly. Now I'm drinking the Walk On to get ready for football tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're going to clinch a division title, baby.
It's fantasy playoffs for me, so that's what I'm focused on.
I don't know, the Colts, so you sure you can, of course, I can't say anything. My Chiefs lost to the Colts, like in week 3, so.
They have the Viking defense is worse in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's saying, okay, if we don't play well tomorrow, the D coordinator's got to go. Okay. So I think the whole thing is that they feel they can hold these guys to like 10 points because their offense is so terrible. The only thing is that they short dunk and dink passes. So, Donatello's defense, he likes to play that shell and give guys a little bit of room. So tomorrow they've got to be up on the receivers. And then, they've got a pretty good secondary, but, when you got Jefferson, it doesn't matter who's back there.
When you have Adam Thielen as your backup plan, that's a pretty good backup plan,
Why not? Just get open. Shoot. All right. Do we have, while Jerry and I discuss one more topic, can you see if there's any highlights out there?
Yeah, I can check that out real quick.
So we got Butler on to here's just to kind of we mentioned this and we kind of brushed over it. We have Butler on Thursday. We have DePaul on Sunday, Christmas Day.
Right.
Then we take 9 days off. And we play Seton Hall at home. Now, DePaul was picked to finish 10th in the league. Butler, I think, was 6th, maybe?
Probably, yeah.
And Seton Hall was 5th, 6th, 7th in there.
Yeah.
So there are 3 teams that, wouldn't it be nice to be 3-1 rolling into UConn with a chance to tie for the conference lead?
Yep. It's very. I think it's. We need to do that. Otherwise, like I said, if we want to think we're going to contend for the Big East title, I know it's but I think we have to win these 3 games at home coming up. We just have to. You can't lose.
I don't think we can lose a home game from here on out.
Right.
And here's I'm going to duckies and bunnies again. Here I go. We might have lost to Marquette at full strength with a week's rest.
Right.
Yeah,
they beat Baylor at home.
So
26.
It's not like this was, oh God, losing to Georgetown on the road, which Xavier toyed with for a while tonight, by the way. I looked at Xavier team, boy. Yeah, I
don't know what to think about Xavier.
John Miller said it best in the postgame interview. He goes, "Our defense is awful," and it really is. My God.
Also, Tim, I need you to turn on screen sharing.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
All good.
So yeah, their defense was just absolutely garbage.
Right.
Yeah, I'm done. All right, let's take a look at the highlights.
All right.
Here we are, FS1. Look at that beautiful picture of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Home of the 2-12 Green Bay Packers. All right. Okay, enough with that box one. We see the fans. It's great. Lisa Byington's a good buddy of Kevin Kugler's, but
when do you think Calk's
they were not very good tonight, I gotta say.
When do you think Calk's going to be back? any rumors there? Is it going to be Seton Hall?
I have always thought that it would be the Seton Hall game would be the first week.
Yeah.
But there's a rumor going around. There's Fred again. or for the first time, I guess. There's rumor going around that they've done some tests, and everything looks really, 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 really good. And that there's a possibility that we may see him Thursday. But, more to come on that. Go to BlueJayBanner.com. We'll be giving you the inside info on that. And I thought, finally, Arthur hit one of those. Man, he's been struggling with that shot. Yeah, this part of the game here, I thought I liked our defensive plan here. I thought we were rebounding the basketball really well. This was great.
Fred King running the break, yeah.
Fred running the break.
What a luxury for Creighton. 6% three-point shooter coming into tonight, and he hits three-pointer number 24 on the year.
I think Baylor kicking the Nemhard 3 in the corner.
I think the ball's kind of getting stuck in Nemhard's hand a little too much.
So he hit his first 3 tonight, and man, after that, it was.
Yeah. But don't you think? Is it just me, or is it stuck in his hand more than it used to?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah.
A lot of it, I get in with Fred out there. Does Fred come and set the high ball pick? Does he not? I mean, it seems like it's smoother when Kalk's out there. They've worked longer together than.
That's such a smooth pass
again,
too.
yeah.
Fred running the court.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, if
he's
there's
great.
any positive about the last 2 games, I mean, King's got a lot of playing time, got a lot of experience. So
It's just night and day between 2 games. I mean, it's just you don't even recognize the player.
Yep.
Well, here comes the 5-point lead that was short-lived.
yeah,
And I think it sticks in Nemhard's hand until Reef gets in there. It just seems to like he doesn't know what he should do in any particular. Actually, that was 6 points.
wow.
Yeah,
But then
22-16.
Marquette came back and hit 2 threes in a row.
Yeah.
Got it to 2.
Yep, 17-2 run. I think 19-2 run.
This was the one at Baylor. Oh, no, was it? I was thinking that was a wing one.
Fred with another board and back in, yeah.
Yep.
This is awareness of where the ball is. I can't say enough about it.
Yep.
I think this is where Baylor did his magic on the. No, not this. I thought it was beautiful entry there.
Yeah.
Got to do more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been there all season long, regardless of whether it's King or Kalkbrenner.
And not only that, I thought they were trying to do too much. They were trying to basically play Arthur like he was Fred or Kalk, and it just wasn't working. They were trying to do a lot. Here comes this 3.
He's made a few of those this season.
That he likes that spot right there.
This is when Trey hits his floater in the lane, yeah, at the buzzer. They get us back within 9, maybe.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah. God, I thought we were going to screw this up too.
Yeah.
Staying right there, Fred had a perfect position.
Yep.
On the proper side of the rim. If that misses, it's going to go that way, and he'd have grabbed it, put it back. Yeah, I thought, again, you gotta win that 4 minutes coming out of halftime.
Yeah,
we didn't do.
Nope.
Beautiful pass by Art there.
Yeah, that was a good decision.
He's done a fantastic job of taking advantage of this opportunity. And this is going to bode well for Creighton once Ryan Kalkbrenner comes back.
Ben Steele, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, was telling me that Kolek has really worked on his 3, and I was like, oh, didn't look like it tonight.
Right.
I think he made 1.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got here.
Even there, he had good position.
I definitely agree. Come later on
Yeah,
in the season,
I know it.
we're gonna want to play so many minutes.
Alley-oop, nicely done. Nemhard finding King.
Oh, look, yeah, 1 of 4, 2-9 from the field.
53 points.
Yeah, he done hurt you.
Threes made.
He didn't hurt us at all.
No.
Season low.
He really didn't have a great.
They are threatening that.
Oh wow, he had 7 assists.
Yeah, I was about to
Talk
say
about
that's
quiet assist
where he
night.
hurt. Yeah.
Taken away out to
Wow.
Mitchell. For the lay-in.
Garbage time here. We made a nice run here. It was 69.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, the
chance
final
to
score
get
was
to
not
single digits.
indicative of
Yeah.
that game.
The calendar after Christmas.
My wife was like, "Are you kidding me? We're giving up." I go, "We're down 18." She goes, "Well, there. See, we scored it now. I think we hit a 3, don't we?"
Yep, that's the Farabello 3 right here.
Yeah, money.
Farabello knocks down the three. It's the first 3-point make. It comes with about 5 of the second half. We asked Shaka Smart if he remembers.
I don't think we get another. Who scores here? Oh, Reese
Sharif
scores
and
here.
one. Yep.
2009 Bethune-Cookman. But I remember my first loss immediately after that game, even more than my first win, and that was to West
Picking on those walk-ons.
Yep. All right, got to get your points somehow.
Yep.
And there it is, 69-58. A's fall to 6-6. All right, our next show will be. I guess we'll have a show Monday. I was thinking the game was early in the week, but we'll have Blue Jay Banner, regular edition of Blue Jay Banner on Monday. How's that sound?
Sounds good. I guess it'll be interesting to see all how much negativity is out there on social media amongst the Jay fans. Yeah, it could be
plenty.
The ugly 6 days, obviously. So
we're gonna effort somebody from the athletic department. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I know who I'm going to go after. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to tease it. You don't want to miss the show. And he's going to come on. He's been got to have a good relationship with this guy.
You're giving away too much. Even just saying he,
You're right. Because we wanted to have Hannah on, who was the game time,
the game day experience.
Yeah, she's been ducking me though, so I don't know. But we'll figure it out. We'll get one of those guys. All right. Hey, Jerry, thanks for filming.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good weekend.
It's already 11 o'clock. I got to get to bed.
All right.
All right, folks. Join us. Maybe like, subscribe.